listening to an audio article by the Common Constitutionalist. Today's article is entitled, Invaders Try to Enter America and Canada Changes Its Tune. I couldn't help noticing the grateful immigrants who are so thankful to leave their war-torn, murderous, and oppressive nations. These patriots in waiting sat atop the border fence, laughing and waving the American flag out of respect and reverence for their new home. What? That's not what happened? Huh. Instead, these invaders waved every flag but ours, the flags of the war-torn hellholes like Honduras they claim to wish to escape. These are not refugees, but invaders. Now some might say, how dare I call them invaders? Well, what would you call them? What do hostile forces do after they've sacked a town or territory? Oh, that's right. They announce to the world that this is conquered territory by taking down the enemy's flag and waving theirs around in triumph before running it up the flagpole. Now, given the opportunity and the attitude, I don't doubt that at least some of these migrants would surely just do that. Take down the American flag and replace it with a Honduran flag. Now, some would ask why these migrants don't just seek asylum in Mexico. Well, the answer was established almost a month ago that this caravan march to the border is not about, and was never about, asylum, refugees, or even making it to the border, at least not for the organizers. Organizers? You mean this caravan march was not spontaneous? I did a video podcast about this on April the 8th. No, this march was not spontaneous, nor have any of them been since their inception in 2010. Yet we have not heard of them until Trump got elected. Funny how that worked out. The refugee march to the border was and is fully funded by a group of American leftists called Pueblos Sin Fronteras, or People Without Borders. And how does People Without Borders acquire the funding to organize these marches? Well, they are funded by George Soros. You'll notice that these penniless refugees have sparkling new Honduran flags and lovely pre-printed signs. And as George Soros has never, to my knowledge, done anything humanitarian, it's not a stretch to then conclude that the caravan has but one purpose, to advance the radical left's agenda of demonizing and further diluting America. Oh, and to make President Trump look like the bad guy the left characterizes him as. And in a real ironic twist, Canada, who has been oh so welcoming of illegal immigrants and so-called refugees, appears to be changing its tune, since they are too now being overrun. We heard story after story in 2017 after Trump took office of how illegals began leaving the malevolent United States for the welcoming arms of the more enlightened nation of Canada, and the left cheered. In October of last year, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tweeted the following, quote, "To those fleeing persecution, terror, and war, Canadians will welcome you, regardless of your faith. Diversity is our strength," unquote. Well, isn't that nice, until the reality of just how many are taking advantage of Trudeau's offer. That same month, October, The Hill reported that, quote, "As of the end of April, there were 12,040 asylum claims in Canada, and it was viewed as likely that there would be 36,000 of them by the end of the year. If this continues, the wait time for an asylum hearing could be 11 years by the end of 2021, unquote. And others have taken advantage of Canada's liberal immigration policy. Their Blaze reports that, quote, "Nigerians seeking refuge in Canada have been requesting temporary U.S. tourist visas only to walk across the Canadian border before their visas expire. This is an untenable situation on our border and will only be solved by construction of a big, beautiful wall and the rejection of most, if not all, immigrants trying to enter in this manner. The border, as it has in the past, should be shut down completely until the wall is complete and we can figure out just who is already here. And Canada can fend for itself." Thank you for listening.